the park bench artist in the quiet town of Willow Creek, where life moved slowly and neighbors waved from their porches. There was a park at the heart of it all. Children played on the swings, joggers traced the winding paths, and older couples strolled hand in hand. And on one weathered wooden bench, under the shade of a towering oak tree, sat Mr. Howard, a man most people overlooked. His beard was gray and tangled, his coat worn thin, and his shoes had seen better days. Too many. He looked like someone who had been forgotten by time. But if you looked closer, you would notice the small sketchbook he always carried and the pencils that peeked out of his pocket. Mr. Howard was an artist, the forgotten talent years ago. Howard had been known in the city for his vibrant paintings, landscapes that looked alive, portraits that told stories. But life hadn't been kind. A fire in his small studio destroyed his work, and soon after, he lost his home. With nowhere to go and no family left, he found himself in Willow Creek, sitting on that park bench. But Howard never let go of his gift. Day after day, he filled page after page of his sketchbook. He drew the children laughing on the swings, the dogs chasing sticks, the old man feeding pigeons by the fountain. People passed him by, barely noticing it. To them, he was just another forgotten soul. But to Howard, his drawing was a reminder that beauty still existed in the world and within him. The girl who noticed one chilly afternoon, a 12-year-old girl named Mia, walked past the bench. She loved to draw too, and carried her own sketch pad everywhere. Curiosity pulled her toward Howard. "What are you drawing?" she asked shyly. Howard looked up, surprised. Few people ever spoke to him. Slowly, he turned his sketchbook around. On the page was a beautiful sketch of the park fountain, with sunlight glinting off the water. Mia's eyes widened. "That's amazing. It looks real." Howard smiled faintly. "Thank you. Do you draw?" She nodded eagerly and showed him her own sketch of a bird she had been working on. Her lines were rough, but Howard saw promise. "Keep at it," he said gently. "Art isn't about perfection. It's about seeing the world differently." From that day forward, Mia visited Howard's bench every afternoon. They drew together, shared stories, and laughed. For the first time in years, Howard felt like he wasn't invisible. The ripple of kindness. Mia began showing her friends Howard's sketches. Soon, other kids started gathering around his bench, watching him draw. They called him the park artist. One of their parents, curious about the man her daughter kept talking about, came by to see his work. She was stunned by the talent in his sketchbook. Word spread quickly through Willow Creek. Before long, townspeople began to notice the quiet man on the bench. Some brought him art supplies. Others brought warm meals. A local cafe owner even offered him free coffee every morning. Howard's once lonely bench became a gathering place filled with laughter, admiration, and community. An unexpected offer one Saturday. The mayor of Willow Creek came to the park. He had heard about the park bench artist and wanted to see for himself. As he flipped through Howard's sketchbook, his eyes softened. "These are incredible. They captured the heart of our town." The mayor made an announcement. The town would host a community art show featuring Howard's drawings. It's played at the public library. Howard's hands trembled. "But I'm just an old man on a bench." The mayor shook his head. "No, you're the artist who reminded us all that beauty lives right here among us." The night of the show, the library buzzed with excitement. Families, children, and townsfolk filled the space where Howard's sketches lined the walls. From the fountain in the park to portraits of familiar faces. Every drawing told a story of Willow Creek. Mia stood proudly at his side, beaming. "See, I told you everyone would love your work." As Howard looked around, tears welled in his eyes. For so long, he had felt forgotten. But in that moment, surrounded by people who saw his worth, he realized he had never truly lost his purpose. The lasting impact the art show didn't just change Howard's life. It changed Willow Creek, The town began investing more in local artists, holding annual art festivals and creating spaces for creativity to thrive. And every day, Mr. Howard still returned to his bench, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. Children would gather, pencils in hand, and he would teach them the same lesson he once gave Mia. Art isn't about perfection. It's about seeing the world differently. Moral of the story: sometimes the people we overlook carry the most extraordinary gifts. All it takes is someone to notice, to see past the surface and recognize the beauty within. Howard's story reminds us that kindness and recognition can breathe life back into forgotten dreams. And often, the smallest gestures, a curious question, a listening ear can create ripples that transform entire communities, because every person has a story worth noticing.